I want to color your hair.
So I'm not really keen on coloring it.
I'm gonna push you on this one.
This model did not want to get any color in her hair, and I was here for the drama.
I'm worried this is gonna be too dark. We can't fix it, so.
It's over there like, your face shape this, your face shape that.
I didn't just choose this particular bob shape for Susie just by accident. It's actually going to function really well for her face shape.
I'm gonna make you look 20 years younger. This guy thinks he's like freaking Edward Scissorhands.
I am about to show you the perfect bob. Meet Susie. Susie reached out to me in an email saying that she was having some concerns with her hair. And at the end of the day, she just wants to look hot. So today, I think I have the perfect bob haircut for her, and we're gonna show it to you live on her. But there is one little thing that, well, might be a little bit more challenging than just doing a makeover, and that is this. This is my salon, and that is a whole damn film crew. They are here because there are two other creators in the salon today that have flown out here for, well, a challenge. But we're gonna need your help, so let me break this down for you so you know what's going on. Come with me. We've got Glam Girl Gabby, who flew in from Canada. She does what we're doing today as a profession. It's one of her specialties. And then on the other hand, we've got Styles by Summer, who legitimately teaches technical cutting skills on her YouTube channel. So there's that. All three of us have our own specific models that we are bringing in to work on today. Now the plan here is to see which one of us can actually create the most youthful feel for our model. And then you are gonna go and actually vote on the video to decide who you think kind of wins this whole thing. There's one more thing, we're being timed. 3 hours, that's what we got. Do you know what looks horrible? A haircut that's half done. Yeah, that looks horrible. Susie, thank you so much for being here. It's a huge help. I'm excited to win this because that's what's gonna happen.
It's an honor to be here, Justin.
You're way too nice. So tell me a little bit about the struggles that you've been having with your hair. You sent me an email. What were you talking about in that email?
I haven't got it cut for a long time. I've kind of been growing it, you know, but the ends are really scraggly.
Okay.
And I worry because I've let it go gray that it looks a little witchy, but maybe I need a little something to spiff it up so I look more my age, maybe.
You mentioned a bob shape. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I just think that's more flattering on my face shape,
Okay.
maybe.
And you've had a bob in the past?
Yes, many times, yeah.
Okay. And it was just something that you fell back on and you loved, is that right?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's the thing. I didn't just choose this particular bob shape for Susie just by accident. Obviously, she's had one in the past and it worked really well. So it makes a lot of sense. But on top of that, it's actually going to function really well for her face shape. There's one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I don't know how on board you're gonna be, but I'm gonna push you on this one.
Okay.
I wanna color your hair.
Going gray was a very arduous process.
Okay.
It's hard to do. So I'm not really keen on coloring it.
You mentioned that you felt like you were a little bit washed out. Mm-hmm. Low lights will do an incredible job of just adding a little bit more dimension and richness to your skin tone. More importantly, one of the most important things about bob shapes is that they need to have a really strong baseline. And that can be created by depth and color. So if I can get underneath here and add a little bit of low lights, not only will you get more dimension in your skin tone, you'll also get more dimension in the shape, and you'll get a stronger baseline, which will make the bob look more dramatic. And on top of that, there's no grow out. I'm gonna show you guys, I've talked about this before, I'm gonna show you exactly what this looks like today. There's a very specific approach that I take on how this ends up not being any grow out, and I really think you're gonna like it.
Okay guys, 3, 2, 1, go.
Now we are on a time crunch, so it is all about making this happen.
I didn't want to say this in front of Rochelle, but I'm a little nervous because the time frame we have is a little tight for what I'm doing, so I'm just trying to get her color mixed up. I'm praying to the hair gods that her color and hair work together and not against each other, and hopefully Justin is gonna run into issues as well. So I'm just gonna keep praying to the hair gods and hope it goes well.
The hardest part of my process is definitely going to be the makeup work. I want to use some lid lifting tape that I don't know if it's gonna work or if it's gonna work well on her based on her individual eye shape. There's a lot of like contour and highlight work that I wanna do, that type of comprehensive makeup work. It's not easy to do it in this type of time frame with this type of pressure.
So first things first, we're gonna get some of this length out of the way.
Oh,
Ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Because once I cut this off, it's gonna be really hard to go back.
That's fine.
Fair?
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get some lowlights into this. If you do it wrong, you don't come back from this because you will see every little thing. It's a nightmare. Okay, so one thing that we need to be aware of is that when we're doing a lowlights like this and we're trying to add back in the kind of pepper, if you will, there's different levels in hair color. One being black, and then as you go higher towards 10, 10 being basically white. And so what we want to do is actually go towards like a level 4 because it's going to look the closest to like standard salt and pepper. Most pepper isn't actually that black, but on top of that, since we're putting it next to white, it's already going to look darker to begin with. So a level 4 is going to be solid, and then the way we actually approach it, you'll see that in just a second. You are doing highlights, right?
I'm doing highlights.
So you're doing highlights on somebody that's got color on their hair.
Yeah, someone I've never known with a 3-hour time.
Really? Under a time limit. I'm just saying, I mean, good luck to you. Have fun with that.
I've got it. Justin, of course, always trying to be a little sneaky, coming around, trying to get involved, make me second guess what I'm doing.
I figured I'd, go over and kind of rattle the cage a little, if you will. And I think maybe it worked. Okay, so there's a couple things going on here that we want to pay attention to. This is how we're really going to actually like sell this look, if you will. So one thing is we really want to focus a bit of the color down here. This is where people go wrong, and this is where it can get, if I'm completely honest, kind of dangerous to do. But the key is that when you do a normal highlight, what you'll see at the salon, if you've had highlights before or lowlights before, you know that typically what will happen is they'll take pretty decent sized sections, somewhere in here, maybe even a little bit larger. The problem is when you're going as dark as we are, it's so contrasting to the white that if you go that thick, it's gonna look really thick. So you actually need to dial that back a little bit because again, I can't take the color out, but then we're also not gonna do anything around the hairline. So there's not gonna be anything in here or along the part line. So this is typically where Susie parts her hair. She said right about in here. So I'm not gonna go right up here at the scalp with a bunch of lowlights because then you're gonna notice that when you go home and you're gonna notice it when it grows out. Now another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to kind of match the color here. So you're naturally a little bit darker back here, so I don't want to add as much back to where you're already darker. I want to kind of focus it more where you're a little bit lighter so that it blends in, so it doesn't look really dark in one area and really light in another.
So what is the color that you're doing? Because I swear you said black. That's kind of scary.
First of all, my client is not loving the idea of having color in her hair.
I mean, are we done with all the foiled? I mean,
Yeah, that's all we're doing. So I don't know if she's gonna like it. I hope she likes it. She's worried that there's gonna be too much. Why does
It seems like kind of a lot.
If there's anything that she doesn't like about this, you can't fix it. So, dude, I don't know. I'm a little stressed that she's not gonna. I'm worried this can be too dark.
I don't think he's right. His model did not want to get any color in her hair. She has natural gray hair. And he was like, no, we need to color it. We need to lowlight it. I really thought she was gonna have a conniption and I was here for the drama.
There's a couple things to pay attention to when you're doing a bob shape. And this is why I call this the perfect bob. It isn't a specific bob, it's a way of approaching a bob. So when we're trying to figure out what bob is going to work best for you, because I'm a true believer that there is a bob for basically anybody, I need to think, how long does it need to be for your face? And 2, how long does it need to be for your day-to-day lifestyle? First question we're going to ask is, do you need to get it back in a ponytail? Because if you do, that's going to dictate that I leave the front long enough for it to reach back in a ponytail. You've already said
No.
you don't need to.
No.
So now it's just 100%, I need to know what's going to work best for your face shape. Now when I look at your face shape, okay, you don't have a super round face shape or super wide, but there's a little bit of width to it, and we want to elongate that just a tiny bit. So what it means to me is, what I don't want to do is put a bob right at your chin. I want to give it a little bit of length to help kind of draw that out a little bit.
Okay, I like that.
So somewhere in this range, I'll probably start a little bit longer just to be safe. So here's how we get that kind of perfect bob. Following. The way we create this is we figure out where that front length needs to sit, and then I'm going to turn you around to the profile. Okay, and when I look at the profile, I just need to say, well, I want to follow basically the jaw structure. Okay, so that means that if I'm going to follow the jaw structure, if I want that front to sit right here, that means the back is going to come right about here. I literally just draw a line that does this, right? Now I've got this great angle that's just the right angle.
Yeah.
Now this is parallel to the floor. Problem with this is now bringing that eye this way down the shape. So I need to lift this up and start following that jawline a little bit more to lift the eye up the shape.
I don't know what it's called. I'm freaking out. I don't know. I don't know.
What are we dealing with out there?
Her hair is not lifting, which I was very worried about, and I have a 10-minute window here where I have to rinse her hair, so I have to reapply some lightener and hope to God that it does its job, because otherwise it's not gonna be good. So I'm kind of freaking out right now.
3 hours for a full highlight, color, and cut transformation is super tight.
Summer's still foiling. So my client's already processing. So if it all goes well with my client, my hope is that Summer just doesn't get done in time because she still has to cut. And her being a technical stylist, I'm gonna guess that she's gonna take some time to cut, and then on top of that style, so she's running that clock.
Have you been able to look at Justin and Gabby's?
I have no idea what Justin and Gabby are doing at all. I haven't seen them. I hear them talking. I'm trying to eavesdrop, and I have no idea where they're at in this competition at all. I feel like they're probably in a better place than me.
I'm gonna get done early. I got a little extra time. I feel like it's perfect time to kind of start to get into their head a little bit. So you got 20 minutes. That's cool. Are you ready?
So Justin came and tried to like razz me. I'm not really sure why he was done so early.
How does it feel to not be done in time?
It feels like you might lose, Justin.
This guy thinks he's like freaking Edward Scissorhands. I wonder if his makeover will be as exciting because he's finishing much earlier.
It's really easy to be done, 1 hour early when you don't do anything super great.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Okay, yeah, okay, all right.
1.
Okay, we're good. Oh my gosh, I don't know how this is gonna end.
And now we have the after. How do you like it?
I love it.
Do you?
Darling.
Okay, so that's really all I care about. Right?
I think I look younger. That's huge.
I think you look amazing, but I also think I kind of had a little bit of a cheat code by the fact that you already looked amazing. So it's a little bit of an unfair advantage. This is why I call this kind of the perfect bob, if you will. It's a perfect bob because it does exactly what we need it to do with doing very little to it. Even without a bunch of volume, even if we just kind of leave it messy,
Yeah,
the
love it.
shape still functions. It has volume where we want it to have volume. But bring this back, cuts right at the cheekbone, so it helps to actually accentuate more cheekbones. If we look at the profile, okay, look at the profile here, it follows basically the jawline, so that's gonna lift the eye from the profile. I haven't given this a lot of volume, I haven't done a lot to it. I dried it with basically nothing in it,
Right.
and it's just a matter of cutting the shape into it. You can see that the low lights create a little bit of dimension in the hair. You can see that really right through here and right through here, right? You can see all this little bit of movement. It's very subtle, but it's one of those
enough.
things,
Yeah.
right? That subtlety makes a huge impact.
Huge.
So this would work really well wavy. This would work really well even like a lot more volume. This works really well sleek.
But I love to mix up my hair. I like to wear it different all the time. So it'll be straight, then it will be wavy, then it'll be curly. I'm excited.
I love it.
Super cute.
Now, you've seen everyone. I'm stressed about this. So do me a favor. I want you to go below in the description and I want you to make sure that you let me know who you think, and maybe it's not me, that's fine, okay? But vote below. Now, I also want to make sure that you go over to Summer and Gabby's channel. I'm gonna go ahead and put the links in the pinned comment below as well as in the description. Just like I did, they're going through exactly what they did and why they did it on their models, which is really important. So if you wanna learn more, make sure you check out their channel. I appreciate you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you for hanging out with me.
It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And before we take off, what do you want to say?
This view doesn't suck.
This view does not suck, folks. I love that you knew that. We'll see you next week. Take care now. Thank you.